Hey everyone, I'd like to talk about mass murderers and maybe murderers in general, and probably more specifically, those who love murder or those who do not value human life, which is really identifying those who are likely to engage in murder or mass murder in the future, mostly for the purposes in the context of this discussion in identifying them early so that we can help them. And I really mean help like rehabilitate. So I'm going to try and keep this quick. You can see here I've got a news article up that's going to stay static for the whole video, so I'm going to try and make it really quick. Talking about Austin bombings, the fourth one in Austin, and it's got a lot of people scared, and it should. Bombings are naturally scary, but it's not even the tip of the iceberg. Fortunately, criminals are stupid, so we really don't have to worry about them too much. Our existing systems tend to catch them. I hope you notice that I'm avoiding some crucial details in my language because I don't want to give away too many things. But I will definitely say that all this focus on banning certain weapons is stupid. No, it's worse than stupid, it's evil. Because not only does it prevent us from living, but it prevents us from having our liberties and defending them. So I want to talk real quickly about valuing life and what it means. And I hope you'll start to see why banning not just firearms, but I mean, why not just stop there? Why not ban every object that could possibly be used in a lethal manner? Because we can't live. All right, valuing life. Two parts to that. One is understanding what it is, and the second is understanding how to, I guess there's three parts, to instill it in our young, which is what really needs to happen, especially with a two-parent household is what we need, a mother and a father. We need the mother and the father, both genders. And then the third part is detecting those who are straying from the path of valuing life, human life especially, by watching the neurology, the physiology, the way they behave. It comes out in and looking for those who are being impacted and realizing there are a lot of things that will impact us in that way. So, including support for murder. And there are a lot of people that support murder and don't even realize it. Um, all right, of those three, let's talk about what valuing life is. Let's make this quick too. I'm going to try and make it really quick. Because I mean, I could get into so many rabbit holes, this could go on for quite a while. There's a lot to talk about and a lot of things that people have not thought about. Even professionals have not thought about, and partly because they don't have the desensitization required to be able to fully think these ideas through to some really ugly places. Valuing life is all about the core values that we have inside. And we're going to go into how those are developed in a second, but they have to do not with what necessarily what we fantasize with or what we play in our games, but how we truly feel inside. Now, how we truly feel inside will manifest itself in how we play games and what we love about the games. Okay, it definitely will. And there are some pretty evil parts to us that we should both be afraid of and accept and realize there's a lot of normalness, I guess, in evil because we see a lot of evil in the world. I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise. But the mere watching of violent movies or playing violent games does not mean that a person loves violence or does not value human life. So let's just keep that in mind really strongly as a very strong rebuke to those who would distract us from the real issue of finding people by telling us that we need to focus on video games. I'll tell you right now, with all the experience that I have with video games, violent ones even, and shooting paper targets with silhouettes of people, um, even ones with full-blown pictures of people, um, there is no equivalency, 0% equivalency to being able to shoot those things, virtual or paper targets, and to actually shooting a real person. There's no equivalence at all. Um, so, all right, valuing human life, where does it come from? It comes from recognizing the divinity, the sanctity of the human life, which includes our agency, which is a natural and integral part of our nature. You cannot value human life and reject human nature at the same time. You simply cannot do it. Those who do not value or accept human nature, those who are controlling, prime targets, prime candidates for that evil coming out and engaging in violence. Those who have killed, it impacts their physiology. So it's not always going to be for sure, if it reflects in the physiology, it's not always going to be for sure that that's something they love. There are other things we have to look for. But those who support abortion, abortion is literally the killing of a human life. And your subconscious knows it because your subconscious knows that the DNA is exactly the same. It knows that it's just an earlier stage of development, just like a 1-month-old is earlier stage than a 1-year-old, and they look very different. And they're both highly dependent on parents, and they should be. So there are a lot of ways that we justify it and try to make us intellectually and consciously okay with it. But psychologically, deep down in the subconscious part, we know they're human. And those who do not value human life, by supporting abortion, they will exhibit a lot of very similar characteristics to those who don't value human life in general, which is to say valuing the living born, more like the born human. Anyhow, that's, I think, what we usually focus on, but we shouldn't. There's anyone who doesn't value human life at any stage should be focused because they need help. They need to learn the value of human life and understand it from its very beginning. It's incredibly important. All right, so that's where the value of human life is found and manifest. I'm not going into the physiology and everything. Now, for how do we instill it? In the first place, a child needs a mother and father who loves them, because the first valuing of human life is the valuing of one's own human life, and those who do not value their own human life, those are at risk for not valuing the lives of others. Now, I know that there are cowards who would murder, and they would run away and try to preserve their life, but being a coward isn't the same as not necessarily valuing their own human life. I mean, you'll find that most of these people who don't value their own lives, they engage in suicide and suicide attempts. And if you don't know about it, they may be doing it secretly, trying to kill themselves. But you cannot respect the lives of others. Yeah, say that right again. You cannot disrespect the lives of others. You cannot disregard the value of others' human lives or liberties without, to a degree, hating your own life and liberty. So yeah, that's a scary part to be in. So watch out for those who control others, who use violence to control others, who use harsh words to control others. Now I don't want to have language police, but I'm talking about those who would bring others to tears. No, I don't even want to go there. I'm talking about those, because there are a lot of people that say things they don't intend to bring others to tears. They're just telling the truth. But I'm talking about those who are name calling. Okay, that's it. Judging others like you're a monster, without actually having evidence of them acting like someone who doesn't value human life and is a mass murderer, right? And mass murdering like Pol Pot. Okay, you can call him Pol Pot a monster because he's literally yeah, fitting that description. But I'm talking people who are just mean, like super duper mean, the bullies on the school playgrounds that ostracize others and make it victims, and people who get antisocial, and um, you know, I mean that's what happened with this Parkland guy, the mass shooting. He was bullied and he was ostracized, and there's good reason for it, but there are some mean people out there, and that's the kind of people I'm talking about, like super duper, um, cause a person to want to kill themselves mean. Like, not, I mean, like if I said, hey, you're being evil because you're maybe violating a commandment, that's not what I'm talking about with being mean. I'm talking about someone who says you are a worthless human being that doesn't deserve to live on the earth, a scum. Okay, that kind of devaluing. So there's a lot of misconception going along on that front. So I could probably be a lot more clear on that, but I think I did a little bit of justice on that. So, and finally, how do we catch them? You, I'm not going to say use psychology, but there are a lot of psychological tools that we can use, from hypnosis, meditation, counseling, asking people about their values and how they feel, and asking them with the intent to give them help, with the intent to understand and care about them, because people can tell how you're asking a question, whether you care, and or whether you're just trying to nail them. So yeah, my experience so far is that all the bad guys want to be understood until they get to a certain point, and they just they're very bad psychologically, mentally ill place. But people want to be understood, and if you give them a chance to feel like they can be understood in a way that um, someone will really understand them, not just understand what they're saying, but actually get where they're coming from and understand their values, and really get inside their head, and offer them a way out, a salvation. Those those kind of conversations can really bring out where a person is going, and whether or not they can be helped. There are a lot of safety things that we need to do in place to keep this from being abused, where innocent civilians, religious groups may be prosecuted from that kind of stuff, where someone might say that if you believe in God, you're mentally ill. Um, there's a lot of really bad places we can go with that. Um, there's a lot of really bad places we already have been going with psychologists telling people that everything's fine with them, when they know that most of their life is not fine, and they need someone to help them understand what's wrong with their life and help them to own responsibility for what they can do and to fix themselves and get better. So there's a lot of things that we can do to improve things. I'll float one more quick idea by you, about the Big Brother-ish drone surveillance in the sky. Um, and as a check on that, real-time streaming of all those videos to the internet, so that we, the citizens, can police the police in their use of the drones, and why they're using the drones for what they're using it for. So we definitely need to have systems in place like that, so that we can watch, even when police operations are in progress, um, having a delay on the video so that people can tell if anything is being hidden, but um, the delay allows the police to be effective, um, and the police and then the public has confidence that they'll be able to see the video. Let's say an hour delay. Okay, still reasonably real time, um, but then again, not so far detached that you'll never figure out what happened because you have to wait like 3 days or several months or whatever, right? Or worry that it'll never come to light or fruition. So yeah, maybe an hour delay on video, even on the videos that the cops are wearing, on their body cams, and that way we can have accountability, and we can have a lot of trust in knowing that no one's going to abuse any kind of power. All right, that's what I want to say about that. We definitely need to have ways to spot these guys before they act. Eyes in the sky is to spot them as they're acting or when they act, so we can crack down and grab them immediately. I mean, imagine if there was a drone watching that any one of those particular places where the packages were left or set up with the tripwire, right? Was set up. We just go back to that location, scan the footage until we find when that package first appears, and we see who put it there. Easy as pie. And record all that footage for, days, maybe, maybe longer. Just make sure that we catch whoever's acting. Anyhow, that's all I want to say on those things. And please, give up the trying to ban deadly weapons, because we need deadly weapons to protect the weakest and most innocent among us against these evil, these monsters. So, all right, thanks for listening. And hey, if you have any ideas you want to share in the comments, please feel free. And like and subscribe and all that. Thanks for watching. Bye.